What is going on, everybody? We are back at it again with another episode of Stats Over Politics, episode 86. This is your host, Kevin Dent, doing his best to fill in for Shaun, the man, the myth, the legend himself. We got Garry Singh, and we got a reoccurring guest, Alex Dent, coming up to hold down for some NBA talk for us today. How we doing today, Alex?
I'm alive. I can't complain.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, Alex. How you doing today, Garry? We see you got the Steelers shirt, so we will have a lot of Steelers talk today.
Yes, sir. We coming in, correct. We feeling like I told you guys earlier in the chat, the battery's in my back for sure right now. So I'm charged up, ready to go. Talk some little smack on the behalf of my Steelers. And, yeah, I haven't been on the pod in a minute, been at work, so I appreciate y'all holding it down. But let's get it, though.
Yeah, man, holding it down. And the two Niner guests are not here. Like I said, Shaun will not be joining us, but Toddy is on his way. He was coming from Stockton, so we're going to be waiting on him. So we're going to get all things basketball, all things NFL, free agency, draft, and we're going to be mentioning our all-NBA teams. So, Garry, I'm going to swing it to you first, starting with the NBA topics on today's show. Which top four seeds in the Eastern Conference is most likely to be upset?
Out of the top four seeds in the Eastern Conference, I was just looking at that earlier today, and to be honest with you, it's pretty tough because everyone in the East is playing well. I mean, to be honest, everyone right now is playing well in the NBA, but the top four, I really feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm pretty sure you guys probably might have picked the same one too, just because, as we know, they're injury prone literally all year long. They haven't had all their guys, and somehow, some way, they're still in the third seed. You feel me? Like, they've really been doing their thing without. Some nights they might have Mitchell, some nights they might not. I already know Mobley and them, Allen. Like, it's been an inconsistent play, but they have guys stepping up. So you got to give them credit for even being where they're at. But they're going to be the most vulnerable, to be honest with you. I could see people saying Milwaukee just because, they've been having the scrutiny all year, fired the coach, things of that nature, and they're still trying to figure it out in a way. But they just have too much firepower. I feel like, Giannis and Dame are not going to let them get beat in the first round really by anybody. The only team that maybe might be able to pull it off is Miami because they can pull it off versus literally anyone. So I really feel like that the Cleveland Cavaliers right now are just, are kind of shaky at the moment to be maybe most overturned in the top four seeds.
All right, Alex, I'm going to swing it to you next. Which top four seed in the Eastern Conference is most likely to be upset?
The same ones I had Cleveland only because of how they were last year. Like, I thought they would have beat the Knicks. I think it was the first round. And like Garry said, they're injury prone. Like, Donovan Mitchell has been out. I don't even know what's wrong with him now. Mobley. I know Darius Garland was out for a little bit because of a facial fracture or something like that. So, like he said, like the inconsistent players in and out. But I do think they have a deep bench. I think they kind of do go in deep. That one D Wade player, I don't like that they call him D Wade, but like he went off that one game. They have Niang, who's always going to be a consistent player. So I always, just because of last playoffs, I feel like them. But I also think the Knicks too, only because they don't have Julius Randle right now, and I know that's a key part of their team. Even though Jalen Brunson is an all-star and having the best season of his career. So.
Yeah, Alex, the second one really caught my eye. Yeah, I put the Cavaliers, but the biggest one for me is the Knicks. They have in the 19 games OG Anunoby's played, they're 18-1. So when he's on the court, they're playing great. When Julius Randle's on the court, they're playing great. And no one even mentioned that Mitchell Robinson's not on the team anymore. I know Isaiah Hartenstein's really been coming up and balling, and I don't know really who the second big man is on that team, but if this team could be healthy, this team could be really scary in the East. But now I feel like they're like the West Coast Clippers. If they're healthy, they can do this. If they're healthy, they can do that. Jalen Brunson has been single-handedly keeping this team in contention. The Magic are right on their tail, and I don't even know if the Magic beat the Knicks is that even an upset. Because some people might say that the way their rosters are right now, they might say the Magic are better. Yes, if the Knicks were healthy, people probably would be saying that, but the Magic aren't a bad team in that matchup. But if for just the top four in particular, I'd have to go with the New York Knicks. But if they can get Julius Randle back and OG Anunoby, I think that would help a lot, especially Mitchell Robinson having that big man in the post. I know Isaiah Hartenstein been playing well, like I mentioned, but Mitchell Robinson's a rim defender, and he's going to go out there and rebound, and that's really just what you want in the modern NBA. So if they can get the three of them back and healthy in enough time to kind of get a rhythm, We saw the Nets try to get everybody back a couple years ago, right before the playoffs, and it's really hard to get that rhythm playing against teams that have been going on for so long. So this team's been riding hot. Dante DiVincenzo has been playing out of his mind. Like, I thought Max Strus has been playing crazy. Dante DiVincenzo has been playing out of his mind. Since the All-Star break, he's shooting 40% from the three, and he's shooting that on 10 attempts. So he's getting them up. If Toddy was here, he would tell you that the over on his threes every night is a cash, for sure. So moving on to the Western Conference, Alex, I'm going to swing the same
real
question
quick,
to
Kevin,
you
too.
Oh, what's going on?
Real quick, I was going to say, too, just to back up me and Alex's point real quick, if the playoffs start today, they're playing Philly, and we don't know if Embiid's even there for against the Cavs. So that's just a double whammy for them right now, to be honest. We didn't even see. But it's hard to know because we all know standings are so jumbled up. We don't know who they're going to play. But if they play Philly, that's the most vulnerable team as well. So it kind of depends who you play, too.
Yeah. Joel Embiid, man, you really hate to see it because he was on the way to a back-to-back MVP. You know, now the Congress. You don't think so?
No, for sure.
Easy.
I mean, for sure.
I thought you.
Easy,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, so then he'd be kind of neck to neck with Joker, 2 MVPs, but then the only thing would be the ring. But if he can get back out there, it would be really nice to see because they definitely need him. But we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jaevon Toddy, joining us, everybody. Toddy, before I swing it to you, man, how you doing today?
Oh man, I'm just trying to be like you guys and be on time.
Hey man, you're all good. You got a lot of things going, man. You're.
Do I sound okay though? Do I sound good?
You sound good. You look great.
Okay.
I love everything you got going on.
We're on the laptop today. iPad was dead.
Hey man, gotta work on your toes. Gotta work on your toes. Gotta be light on your feet. So
Moving
Toddy,
up-
I'm gonna
I'm
swing it
moving
to
up in the
you.
world.
Which 4 top seed in the Eastern Conference is most likely to be upset? You can go ahead and say the
Eastern
Boston Celtics.
Conference top 4. Let's see here.
We have the Celtics, the Bucks, the Cavs, and the Knicks.
The Cavs are in there.
They're 3.
Oh yeah, probably the Cavs. I'm just looking at because Donovan Mitchell's been in and out of the lineup. Darius Garland's been in and out of the lineup. I mean, Evan Mobley's been inconsistent. He's also been hurt too. So their team, at one point in time when Donovan Mitchell wasn't even playing, they were like the best team in the league for like a 2-month span, which is insane. So it's you gotta at least you would like to have your entire team there. The Bucks are another team too. Like last year, I believe the Bucks were like the number 1 seed and they went out in the first round, or number 2 seed and they lost to Miami. So it kind of really just depends on who are these bottom tier teams that are going to be in it, because I would look at a Philadelphia to be one of those type of teams because I saw reports about Joel Embiid returning to practice. I think it was a couple of days ago. Saw that he was going to be returning to practice. So they might be a team. Philadelphia might be a team that might be like a low seed, like a 6, 7, 8 seed that might sneak in during the plan because Joel's back. And they might get paired against a team like a Milwaukee or like a Cleveland in the first round. And we all know, I'm pretty sure most of us in this on the show currently believe that when Joel Embiid was healthy, he was the clear-cut number 1 overall pick. I mean, the guy dropped 70 points in the game. In a game where I did say to take the under on his points because they wanted him to score like 30-something. It was like 38 points, the over-under on that game. And someone asked me, what do you think about Joel Embiid and his under that day? And I was like, I like the under in this game, but definitely towards Victor Wembanyama that day. So if I had to go with a team that's most likely to be upset, it'd probably be the Cavs. Just based off of them probably maintaining, if they end up maintaining that top 4 seed, they might get paired up against a team like Philadelphia. And Joel will probably come back. I'm not sure how healthy he will be, but I feel like a Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Sixers in the playoffs can win a round or 2. I mean, we saw Joel kind of get a couple of rounds. What was it, last year? Mm-hmm. So I mean, that was with James Harden though. So let's not forget about that. But Tyrese Maxey is definitely taking the All-Star leap that he has this year. So I'm gonna have to go with the Caps.
Okay, so it seems like we're all pretty much on the same. I'm going to be interested to see if we all have the same opinions moving west. So, Alex, I'm going to swing it to you first. Same question. which team in the top 4 in the Western Conference is most likely to be upset?
Who's the 4th seed in the West? Is it the Clippers?
Clippers at the moment.
It's Thunder,
Yep.
Timberwolves,
Clippers,
Nuggets,
Minnesota,
Clippers.
Denver.
Got it.
Yep.
I would say OKC or Minnesota, only because I just feel like Minnesota is the number 1 defense in the league. I totally understand that Anthony Edwards just himself is the greatest player on that team. Totally get it. I just feel like when Rudy Gobert was with the Utah Jazz and they went to the playoffs and then they exposed him, I just feel like that's probably what's going to happen this year, because all they got to do is just play a smaller team and they just small ball, and now Rudy Gobert can't play, right? And so, but because Rudy Gobert is outside the lineup, they could still have like Nazir Reed, I think that's how you say his name, right? So you could still like have a big who could play all 5. So I would say them and OKC, only because OKC doesn't have that much playoff experience, but they're very talented. Don't ever get me wrong, and they have a great bench. So I would say those 2, only because the other 2 have a lot of playoff experience.
Okay, so Gary, I'm going to swing the same question to you next. Which top 4 seed in the West is most likely to be upset?
So I was kind of like debating in my head. Should I go break down the team to see what I think is the weakest team out of these 4, or the matchups? Because if you play matchups wise, whoever's playing, if Suns somehow get in, or like the Lakers or Warriors, I'm more scared with those teams, like Alex kind of said, in terms of playing OKC or Minnesota, which are kind of young teams. You know, we seen that last year what LeBron did to them young teams, and don't get it twisted. Curry can do the same thing, and Durant and Booker can do the same thing with Beal too. So that's the only thing I was a little bit weary of where to really put my answer at. But I'm gonna just look at the top 4 and go by who's probably like the weakest at the moment. Denver's obviously no question. They're no way they're getting that. They shouldn't even be in this. So it's really between 3 teams. Minnesota, which we talked about it right now. We have Rudy Gobert injured, not Rudy Gobert, excuse me, Cat injured, who may or may not be back for the playoffs this time, I think. And then we got OKC, who's young Bucks, but been killing it all year long. Like Alex said, you really can't knock those guys every which way. Only thing you can really say is that they're young. And the funniest thing is, if you ever watch them play, they don't even play young. They play so poised and together. So it's really hard to knock those guys down. So I did write OKC in my notes. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to last minute switch it up. I'm going to say the Clippers, just because even though the Clippers have been playing good this year, we just seen it the other night, man. Kawhi Leonard didn't get injured anytime. Paul George, love your new podcast. Can't hate it all. We all fans of the game, students of the game. And so but then you might see Paul George have a bad playoff run. We've seen James Harden, who's one of the greatest 2 guards ever, had a bad playoff. So, like, they'll have a lot of guys. And also, I didn't even mention Westbrook, who's injured at the moment, I think, still. So they have a lot of guys who need to prove it. So I wouldn't want to bet against them. But in terms of the luck really going their way, and like we mentioned earlier, they're kind of small in a little bit which ways. So I just feel like the Clippers are probably like the ones that can maybe get got or upset in these out of all these teams right now. Even though I can also, like I mentioned earlier, you can see Minnesota because they're like, yeah, I just feel like Ant Edwards is just too killer right now to go out first round. I just see him like superstarring him. Like he learned a lot. He was there last year, so that team should take the next step. All these teams are kind of bound to take the next step. You know what I'm saying? Clippers are kind of like it's championship or bust, and we have seen them fall short before. So since I've seen it before, I got to go with Clippers right now. I've seen it before.
All right, Ty, I'm going to swing it to you next. Same question. Which top 4 seed in the Western Conference is most likely to be upset?
It's very tough because, like Garry was saying, there's a lot of teams like LeBron, Steph, guys that won championships are like hovering in that 6, 7, 8 seed range. So it's really tough to say right now. I mean, there's those teams. Thunder. And when's the last time the Thunder been in the playoffs? Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, James Harden. They were going to the finals. That's like almost 10 years ago that was. So Shea's been to the playoffs, but he's never really been to the playoffs as kind of the guy. Like, this is his team. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Now, I think we all universally understand that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best guards in the league. He is an all-pro player, But we've never seen this particular OKC team in the playoffs. Now they're the number 1 seed, so I mean they would go up against the Suns, the Lakers, the Suns, Lakers, or Warriors. That would be one of the teams that they could potentially be matched up as. Now, if I'm a gambling man and you had Kevin Durant, Devin Booker in a playoff series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, that would be like you would have so many eyeballs would be on that series. Like I feel like that'd be one of the
craziest series,
probably one of the most hyped first round series in a while. Kevin Durant going to OKC, kind of the place.
Is that really an upset though? Losing Durant
in the playoffs. We've all seen what the playoffs look like in OKC when Kevin Durant and all those guys were playing. That crowd is pretty rowdy, so that's going to be an advantage for OKC. But none of those guys, besides I'd say Shea, have really been in that playoff setting. And we've seen what Devin Booker and Kevin Durant can do in the playoffs when together. Like they damn near averaged 40 against the defending champs, and they were able to steal away 2 games and in that series last year. So that would be a series I'd be really willing to watch. Another team you could kind of look at is the Minnesota Timberwolves. The absence of Karl Anthony Towns, that may or may not matter because Anthony Edwards is looking like he's the face of the league these past couple of weeks, just the way that he's been playing. They may be able to get out of the first round just based off of how great that he's been playing. Now, opposite of what I was just saying about OKC, we've seen Anthony Edwards in the playoffs. The guy, can definitely get you a game or two, and I feel like he's elevated himself to a level of he can win a playoff series. And that just kind of comes with the territory of just being young in the league, kind of taking those stepping stones. Getting to the playoffs is definitely one of them. Getting to the All-Star, winning, getting those All NBA accolades. So I feel like the Minnesota Timberwolves can definitely win a playoff series. I couldn't necessarily see them losing in the first round, getting upset, even if it is without Karl Anthony Towns. Like I said in previous episodes, they're one of the better teams defensively, and I feel like that can definitely help you in the playoffs. Now, I've seen guys like Shaquille O'Neal saying, "Oh, you're getting $252 million and you average 12 points." I completely understand wholeheartedly where he's coming from, but he is so much of a value and an anchor on the defensive end that it's changing games for them, and it's able for them to be a number 2 seed in the East, and they could damn near even get to the number 1 seed because they're kind of neck and neck with Denver and the Thunder. So probably by in the next month or so, it could be a totally different team that we're talking about, the number 1 seed. But I don't see the Nuggets losing in the first round. Clippers when healthy. That the Clippers are another team that you could kind of argue like, is Kawhi going to be there? Is Paul George going to be there? That's always the thing with them. Because in the playoff series last year, we saw, I think it was Kawhi had like 40 in the first game, and they won. And I think Russ went off in one of those games, if I'm not mistaken. But then all of a sudden, the next game is, Kawhi's out. Like there was no like injury update, nothing like that. It was just, Kawhi, he's not playing. Well, is he coming back or I don't know. He's out tonight. So pretty much after that, it was sayonara. And Paul George was already hurt going into the playoffs, so he was kind of already MIA. So I feel like the team I would say currently would be the OKC Thunder, just based off of experience, youth, and they give off Atlanta Hawks vibes, kind of. From a couple of years ago, from when it was like they were the number 1 seed, they were beating everybody in the regular season. And then when, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Caleb, when those boys came to town, they brought them brooms out. So it was, I'm not saying OKC is going to get swept and they don't have any. I think their teams are obviously different from that ATL team. I didn't think ATL really had a clear-cut superstar like OKC does with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a rising star in Chet Holmgren. But we don't know what it looks like for them in the playoffs. I don't think anyone can say what it's going to look like for them. Obviously, the game does slow down in the playoffs. So if it were to be for me, the team that is most likely to get upset out of the top 4 seeds, I would have to say the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, so of course I had the OKC Thunder, just with their youth, and then the Timberwolves without Cat. But I just wanted to hammer down the Clippers. We've seen James Harden in the playoffs. It's a roller coaster ride. What James Harden's going to show up night in and night out. And what you guys didn't talk about is the impact of Russell Westbrook being hurt. He's done for the season, and the replacement. If you're a hooper, you love him. Bones Highland, he's a baller, but in the NBA world, he's just another guy. Can he give that same kind of contribution? Is Norman Powell going to have to step up and, do a lot more? Like Toddy mentioned, we saw Kawhi Leonard dominate. We've seen Paul George dominate. So are we going to be able to see them all do that at the same time? We've seen James Harden the last couple of games and putting up goose eggs. But if they can just be consistent, they have the coach to do it. If Ty Lue can get them in the right matchups, Ty Lue's shown that he's a championship winning coach. So if these guys can just stay healthy, I think they have a chance. Now, to come out of the West, I probably wouldn't pick them, but to most be upset, Clippers, and then secondly, the Timberwolves just without Karl Anthony Towns. And you can play Rudy Gobert off the court. So it's going to be really hard. And, like Alex mentioned, Naz Reid has been playing out of his mind. But is he going to be able to give you what Karl Anthony Towns gives you? So it's going to come down to a lot of things. But if I had to choose one, I would go with the Clippers. You have something to say, Dottie?
Yeah, I was going to say Russ's injury, there's no timetable for his return. Yeah. I would imagine he would be back for the playoffs, but it is a fracture.
Hand, right?
There's a fracture.
Yeah, he broke his hand. So it's his left hand fracture. So
and it's a left hand.
I would imagine he'd probably be back. I think it was before All-Star break that he got hurt. So I would think he'd be back for the playoffs. But like I said, it kind of always just depends on the two guys, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Are they going to be there? Are you guys going to suit up? Are you going to be available to play? Because I feel like when healthy, they're as good as anybody in the league, especially in the playoffs. Like you could argue they could get to the finals if healthy. But that's kind of always been the thing with them. Playoffs, is Kawhi going to be there? Is Paul George going to be there? And it sucks to say, but that's pretty much part of reality.
100%. So the first two topics we all kind of been hand in hand, but I think this one is going to shake some things up. So Toddy, I'm going to go to you first. We're going to do our all NBA predictions. We're going to go first team. We're all going to go around, second team, and then third team, and vice versa. So Toddy, we're going to go to you first. This is positionless, and you now have to play 65 games. So with all that being said, who is in your first team all NBA?
First team positionless in the Western Conference?
It's just all NBA, Toddy.
Yeah.
15 players.
Okay, let's see here. Luka. Joker. LeBron's probably in there. Shea. Tatum. Is that 5?
5.
That's 5.
Need 6, right?
No, you only need 5.
Bond's pulling at me on top of the dome right now.
Tatum. Yeah. Tatum. Yeah. So I said Luka.
Jokic. LeBron,
Tatum. I said, who did I just say? Luka, Jokic. Oh, LeBron. LeBron. And then
Shea?
Yeah, Shea. So that's 5.
Just think of that off the top of your head.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's 5. That's 5.
All right, Alex, I'm going to swing it to you next. Who is in your first team All-NBA?
Okay, so as of March 19th, right, I definitely have recency bias in this. So anyway, I have Jokic, I have Shea, I have Luka, Giannis, and then I have Ant.
Oh, that's a good one. Definitely forgot.
Okay,
he's probably gonna make it.
That's out there. Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
All right, Garry. All right, Garry. I'm gonna swing it to you next. Who was in your first team All NBA as of March 19th, like Alex liked to state?
Exactly. Like I was gonna say, I was gonna copy that. March 19th at 7:40 p.m. Pacific time. First team, I kind of did this quickly too. I ain't gonna lie. I almost did top the dome bomb, but it's one of the things, Kev. You got to research. You know what I'm saying? I got it solidified. I got Giannis. I got Luka. Damn, stop. Maybe all non-Americans. I got Shea. I got Joker, and the last one, it was tough, but we're gonna put American on it. Goddamn it, Jason Tatum. We got Jason Tatum making the top 5. The team's playing well. I feel like this position list kind of threw me off. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the positions I was kind of in my head still.
Is it
kind of
position list this year?
Yeah,
it is. Okay. So it kind of like, damn, maybe Durant should be on it. You feel me? But I kind of did still lean towards, I guess, guards, you could say. But I kind of did just those 2 guards and 3 big men. But oh well, I feel like that makes it a little easier. I kind of took it like the All-Star game in a way, where you kind of just pick the 2 backcourt players and 3 front court. And so that's my 5 right now. I think it's pretty solid. And yeah, let's see, Kev. Let's see what you got.
All right, man. So, of course, we all have the same – well, except Toddy. The 3 of us all generate around the same 4 players. We have the Joker. We have Shea. We have Luka. We have Giannis. Toddy threw LeBron in there. So I think he might be a LeBronologist now, Gary. I don't know. I think he might be a
get him a shirt.
He's 39 and he's averaging like 26.
Hey, man, you can explain stuff to me. It hurt me not to put him on here. But for my 5th guy,
10-9 seed.
My sister's not gonna like this. We were talking about him before the show, but Kawhi Leonard. I think he deserves a spot.
He's second.
Dude, I think he deserves a spot. 24/7 at 7, and he's playing
over Tatum
all the games.
No.
But you got to look at it. Whose team is better? So who actually has to do a
Celtics?
Exactly. So what I'm saying is Jason.
Well, we're not. No, okay. We're not. Hold on. We're gonna get the choke popping now. We can't. I'm not taking negative points because your team's good now. You can't be knocking me down because your team's good.
Kawhi has to carry his team. Jason Tatum can score 20 points.
If that's the case, then Curry's damn near.
Oh, okay. Nah. When it comes to that,
this is his first season actually playing since 2018. Ridiculous.
I mean, look, last time we saw Kawhi play a practice like this, he won a ring.
5 points more is a lot. 23 and 27, it's a big jump, my boy. Big time.
Hey, man, I'm going to stand on it. I'm going to go Kawhi Leonard as my 5th. We have our first comment of the day, and of course, it's from my father saying he's not the same as Toronto Kawhi. Yeah, I get it. One injury down and a lot of load management later, but Kawhi Leonard has been doing his thing. And early in the season, you could arguably be a top 5 MVP candidate. So I'm going to have to go with Kawhi Leonard. So, Toddy, are you ready? You want me to come to you last? Need some more time to think about it?
There you go.
All right. Alex.
Write down your first list.
All right, Alex. We're going to bring it to you next. Who was in your All-NBA second team?
Okay. So I was reading – a few minutes ago, I was looking at my second team, and I only have
Jaylen Brown. Sorry.
So I was trying to see. Okay, second team: Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson, Sabonis, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant.
I can dig it. Some Sabonis love. I can dig it. Mm-hmm. All right, Gary. I'm gonna swing it to you next. Who was in your All-NBA second team?
I got Kevin Durant. I got Kawhi Leonard. I got Jalen Brunson. I got. Let me see here. I'm trying to think of this mixture. I forgot. I was thinking I almost put Embiid, but I forgot he doesn't count. But I'm gonna put some bonus in there. And then for my final, I think who's playing better? I'm still doing guards in the head. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I'm gonna give Donovan Mitchell the nod.
I don't think
no. Scratch that. Go back. Ant Edwards. That's disrespectful to Ant. Ant Edwards. Ant Edwards makes the top 5. Yeah, right there. I got Jalen Brunson. Ant Edwards, Kevin Durant, and Kawhi Leonard. All
right. So before I give you guys my second team All NBA, we have a comment, and it is coming at you, Alex. Sabonis. ... What do you have to say?
I got Sabonis too.
Only because I was trying to think of players. I'm trying to think of, honestly, I'm kind of with you, Gary. I'm trying to, now that they don't have positions, I'm obviously you could just do guards all day. I could have put D-Book in second team, but I was just I just feel like it shouldn't just be all guards. It should be some type of big man. I think Sabonis is having a great year. I know he had triple doubles almost like every other game, something like that. So I mean, he's playing solid. The Kings are moving up in the standings. I think they're 6 now. I know they were like at 7, 8 for a minute. So I mean, they're trucking along, but yeah, it's a bonus.
All right, so Toddy, I'm going to give you one more go round. I'm going to go before you, so I'm going to list my all NBA second teams. So I have, like Toddy says, Devin, Armani Booker, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, and LeBron James. That is my all NBA second team. Donovan Mitchell would have landed on this list if he qualified, but I'm gonna have to go him. It was hard because I know I'm gonna get a lot of stank faces, but I really wanted to put Tyrese Halliburton in there. He had a hell of a start. I know he's been playing bad, but if he plays the next 9 games, they have 11 games left. He plays he plays 9 of those 11, he'll qualify. So I really wanted to put him in there, but he hasn't been playing too great. You know, everyone came to a city for All-Star Weekend, and he partied a little too hard. He was up there with Mario and 50 Cent, just having a blast, and he left his game. So that's gonna have to solidify my 5. So just going over my second team All NBA, I have Devin, Armani Booker, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, and LeBron James. Toddy, I'm gonna swing it to you next. Oh, what's going on, Alex?
Are you saying his government name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because
that's how Toddy addresses it.
Okay, I didn't know.
That's how Toddy. It's Baker Mayfield and it's Devin Armani Booker. Those are the 2 names that you will hear probably once an episode at least. Once an episode. So Toddy, going off your first list, now you have to play some Tetris. You got to play some Jenga because you said some names in the first name, so you can't double down. You got to stick with it. Stick with your gut. Who was your All NBA second team?
All right, so I got Giannis. I got Devin Armani Booker. Kawhi. KD. Give me Ant.
Okay, so Anthony Edwards snuck into one of our All NBA first team. What's going on, Alex?
Who was the fifth one? Was it Ant?
Yeah, it was Ant. Ant was the last one.
Oh,
so Wes is loving it, Alex. You are the one person who put an All NBA player in Minnesota.
I would have studied before the show. I probably would have put Ant in the first team.
All right, now it's gonna get tricky. So, Alex, I'm gonna throw it to you first. Excuse me. Who is in your All NBA third team?
Okay. I have LeBron, Steph Curry, D-Book, Jaylen Brown, and then I put TB. I think I was supposed to put Halliburton because I don't know who TB is.
You really don't have to because Halliburton's been fizzled. We haven't heard.
If you put Jaylen Brown, you're putting Halliburton.
The thing is, I don't want to put Halliburton there. I don't know who else to say. I kind of want to say Bam, but I feel like I haven't watched Heat.
Anthony Davis.
No.
Oh yeah, AD is in the list.
I can't stand Anthony Davis.
All right, so run us through your list one more time.
Jaylen Brown, LeBron, Steph Curry, D-Book, and I'll put Halliburton, but put like a question mark. Like if he could be like, if I find some, like if someone that I forgot is like really good right now, like, oh, take him out, put him in.
All right, Garry, I'm gonna swing it to you next. Who is in your All NBA second team or third team?
All right. I'm not gonna lie. Earlier, I was doing on top of the dome a little bit too. I remembered, but I just wrote it down. All right, y'all. I'm locked in now. I got all my teams ready, written, and I got my people even who did not make it. All right, so we go on third team or second team. We on second team. Let me go real quick. Do my first team again. I'm just gonna recap real quick. I got first team. I got Durant. I got Kawhi, Brunson, and that's the second team. I hella fucked up. That's second team. That was second team. So I got Durant, Kawhi, Brunson, and LeBron. That was my second team. I knocked off Sabonis. I love you, Sabonis, but you're going to make it. Don't worry about it, my guy. All right, so the third team, we got Sabonis and we got Fox. Yep, I don't care. I got Sacramento representing. We've been killing it. We getting top 6 seed. We 6-2 last 8 games. We've been doing. We're on the uprise. We beat the Lakers. We beat the Bucks. We beating the good teams. We just beat a team we supposed to beat last night, the Memphis Grizzlies. So we're cooking right now. And okay, so I got Book making it. All right, so Sabonis, Fox, Book, and so I was gonna put AD in there, but since we're going positionless now, I might forget the positions. So we're gonna put Curry in there because Curry's still having an unbelievable season. I know where his season, where he ranks in his team, but he's just doing 2 unbelievable things to keep this team even afloat, to not to be on this on this list, and I'm gonna have to. I switched the last minute switch up. I was gonna get Halliburton on there because Kev said his first half of the year, but I love my guy there too. But Dame, I know it's been a turbulent season for them, but I'm gonna have to give Dame. He's still doing Dame-like things. It's not looking as like in Portland years because still adjustments are being made. But you still got something starts to be said of this team is still doing a top 2 seed in the East. Their guys, it's not hitting perfect on all cylinders, but it's still working and they're still getting their numbers. They're still doing their thing and they're still scary. To be honest, they're still scary. No one wants to play these guys. So I'm still going to give to Dame. So guys who I did not make it, like we mentioned, no AD. He's having a great season, but just there's 15 better players than him at the moment. What he brings to the defensive end should push him in there, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to lie, I'm leaning offense because everyone talks about how we don't play defense no more. No Mitchell, no MB, no Sengun. These are due to injury and kind of realistically. No Hallie. I'm not going to lie, he deserves an honorable mention. These are my honorable mentions really in the way. PG deserves it. To be honest with you, Zion is last, Brown, like these last surges they've been having since post All-Star game. DeRozan, these guys, Maxey, Paulo, all these guys post All-Star break have been really turning up to the next level. But just them not being, consistent all year, just knocks them down a little bit. Does not mean they're not great players, but hey, man, you got it. It's just there's something to be said when you show up for a majority of 82, keep it consistent, and your team's doing pretty well. So that's my All NBA sitting there right now at this moment.
What's going on, Alex?
So you took Sabonis out your second team. What did you put in his place?
Instead, I put LeBron because I wasn't gonna put LeBron third team. I have put LeBron second team.
Respect. I mean, no, the most respect is not your first team. So,
to be honest, Sabonis is driving most triple doubles. So to be honest with you, he does probably deserve it. But at the end, LeBron is still, you got to give him some credit for being number one option. Come on now, he's the number one option, bro, on this team.
Okay,
and they're brilliant.
I want to take out Halliburton in my third, and I want to put it because I knew there was someone better. Banchero. I think I'm saying his name right.
Paulo Banchero. Okay, that's some Duke love. Let's do it. I'm with it. Some Dookies.
He averaging 2 more points, I think. So.
All right, Todd, you got your third team ready?
Yes, sir. I do.
All right, Toddy. So let's hear your all NBA third team predictions.
All right, all NBA third. I have Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown, Domantas Sabonis, Paulo Banchero, and then this fifth one, gotta give it to Wardell. Wardell's got to get in there.
I was gonna say,
Tyrese Halliburton's not making my all NBA team. I have Paulo Banchero. Want to know why? Paulo is a number 5 seed in the second year in the league. He is that guy. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the league. Tyrese Halliburton has not been playing well, I'd say, since the All-Star break.
He's been injured, though. Let's mention that.
He's still averaging double-digit assists. This is just based off of what he's been doing. They've been kind of, in and out of the playoff race, but I mean, they're 7th right now, kind of teetering in the direction of play-in. I think the Magic, Kevin, are they on the whiteboard? Did I say that the Magic were going to be a top 6 seed? Did I say that? No, they're not. They're not on the. Oh, he's not.
They are. I'm sorry, I was muted. They're not on the whiteboard, but you do have some whiteboard takes who we'll be getting to in a second.
Yeah, we can get to that, but yeah. So just to recap, we have Wardell, we have Brunson, we have Jaylen Brown, we have Paulo Banchero, and then we have who's my 5th guy?
Sabonis.
Domantas Sabonis. So bam, yeah. De'Aaron doesn't make him this year. I mean, Sabonis is going to be one of those guys that kind of goes down in history for not making an All-Star team, but makes an All-NBA team, which kind of
crazy world we live in, man.
I kind of want to. Can I make a revision?
Of course, Toddy. But then you have to revision. You're gonna have to revise all of your list. Then
no. We're gonna swap LeBron and Anthony Edwards for LeBron can go to second team. Anthony Edwards can go to the first team. I think I can respect it. Playing out all this.
I'm about to shuffle some feathers. I'll tell you that much. So, all NBA third team. Number 1, you got Jalen Brunson. Number 2, Tyrese Halliburton. 3, Wardell.
Yeah.
4, Sabonis. And 5, Victor Wembanyama.
I knew it.
Victor Wembanyama. 21 points, 11 boards, 4 blocks, and 3 assists.
So he wins Rookie of the Year then.
Oh, what? When's Rookie of the Year? It's sitting in his office.
Kevin has been an advocate for Chet Holmgren.
Oh,
so
I mean, I would love for Chet to win it, but you look at what Victor's doing solely by himself. Like, Chet gets a lot off of Shea. Victor got to get it out the mud. Victor bringing the ball up, tween to across, step back threes, blocking shots. Like, he's going to be the first person to drop a quadruple double, and it's going to fucking break the world. What's going on, Alex?
Oh, what was your? Can you repeat your 5 again?
Yes, we have Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Steph, Sabonis, and Wemby. What you got, Gary?
Wait, Alex, do you have all of ours written down?
Yes.
She is so organized.
That's good. We see the differences. Let's go. She's gonna bring the tape back.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
But I was gonna say that man, oh man, this seeing who's getting paid, this affects a lot, guys. I'm not gonna lie, like. I would love guys to get paid, but if the Kings get 2 guys on the top 5 and you get 2 max deals, like some of these teams are kind of wishing their guy probably don't make it.
I even said that about the All-Star game. I was like, y'all ain't getting 2. Y'all getting with some. Y'all gonna get 1. Y'all ain't getting 2. Especially.
I know. We didn't even get 1 though. Disrespectful.
Anyways, man.
I was gonna say though, it's just gonna affect a lot though. Like Embiid, maybe he's gonna be maxed up, but some players who don't get the All-NBA and get that boost, like think Tatum didn't get a year before like that, like. It's going to affect them personally and their their status in the league and how you build a team. So it's really interesting. We got a lot of no makes. AD, Mitchell, Embiid, Maxey, Trae Young. What do you mention him?
Embiid, they didn't play enough games.
But instead of 200 mil, they miss out on 40 mil. So they
still 40 mil.
I feel for them. Don't get me wrong, because money's the table. But
yeah,
you're right.
Change.
You guys still
change.
All right, so we are closing up on the NBA topics. I told Alex we keep it for 40, 45 minutes, so we're not going to run too much longer, Alex. So I'm going to swing it to you first, Alex. Can the Thunder win a championship?
No. Easy. Because I don't think they could get through the West with Denver. I think they play poise and they play together, but I don't think they have enough experience. I don't think they're that big to play against Denver, who's big and long. That's my only concern. Because right now, one thing that is probably the best thing in the NBA that I can't stand is Joker getting the ball on the post, and then Gordon is at the dunker spot, and either it's a dunk
every option,
or it's a dunk,
or
pass it to the corner. It's a 3. It's so
KCP.
irritating. I don't think any team can make a defense to stop that. And I think Chet Holmgren will be great, but he's too bony to play against Jokic. And Jalen Williams will probably guard Aaron Gordon. I feel I don't know, the size matchups, I just don't think they could. I think potentially give them 2-ish years. Let them get some meat on their bones, some more experience. I think they could, but no.
All right, Gary, I'm going to swing it to you next. Can the Thunder win a championship this season?
Oh man, this question makes us feel like Thunder haters, to be honest with you. And the funniest thing is, I just had this conversation with somebody. Literally, they were going. All my homies, one of my homies, Rick Tick and Marcus, shout out to them. They watched the pod too. They were getting they were loving the Thunder, telling me everything about Thunder, and I was just like, y'all, I love the Thunder. This is what I basically told them. That I was like, because they asked me, who, as a Kings fan, who did you want to see in the top 4 seed, whatever. And I was like, I want to see before the T-Wolves injury with Cap. I wanted to see Cap, but they had her number. And I obviously don't want to see Denver. I wanted to see OKC because I felt like that we were OKC last year in a way where we had a great record. We had top all-star play. I know SGA is not playing exactly how Fox was playing last year, but it's similar. SGA is probably always having a better year as an MVP candidacy. And we had great pieces around. And what happened? We walked into Stephen Curry, who dropped 50 in his game 7, and it was here you go. Here's your learning lesson for the year. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Alex just mentioned, that OKC, they're great and they can make steps and they'll have their future. But right now, to win a championship, they would have to do, like Vaughn mentioned earlier, a Durant, a Harden, a Westbrook type feel where they literally spark up and literally go from not making the playoffs, even though, like we mentioned earlier, SGA has a little experience in playoffs, go from basically not a playoff team to a championship contender team. I ain't never seen it happen. This ain't football. I ain't never seen it happen. I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen a team, unless you throw LeBron on there, where they go from no playoffs to a championship. Literally, every team gets their licks. A Denver team went every year to build up. You can look at the OKC team. They lost to the Spurs before they went there. You know what I'm saying? They would still had to walk their way up to get there. The Curry team, they lost to the Clippers before they got over that hump and went to the next level. You know, every team has to make their steps, and I just feel like they're jumping the line. I feel like they're jumping our Kings, man. I've been feeling like that all year. They jumping our line. They still have to wait one more year. We deserve, not that we deserve. That's how it usually goes. If we're on the right path, we should go to round 2. So I feel like OKC, they might, you know, they can get to maybe round 2 and jump that first level, but jumping like 3-4 levels, I don't see it just yet. But like we mentioned, they got great players, and they got if any team does got the cooking pot to do it, I'm not gonna lie, they do. They got SGA playing great. They got a young Chet Holmgren who could end up being as good as Victor Wembanyama, and I know he's not looking at it right now, but he's still as close as it can be. They got a lot of, they got Dort, they got, like we mentioned, Jay Will. They got a lot of guys on the roster. I just want to pull the roster because I'm forgetting the names right now at this moment, but I just felt they just got a lot. I remember Mr. Giddey. They added Hayward at the deadline. So they got a lot of guys here on this team that can make some noise. But then again, his experience is the best teacher, and I feel like they still got some experience to get to the championship hump, but does not mean championship cannot be in their future.
All right, Toddy, I'm going to swing the same question to you. Can the Thunder win a championship this year?
No. I think they're too young, too inexperienced. I don't think they'll be able to rebound in the playoffs. I feel like that's going to be a issue for them. Just having Chet Holmgren kind of at the 5 spot. They'd be playing a lot of small ball. If they go up against a Lakers or a Nuggets team, they're going to struggle on the glass. And that's kind of what I've seen from them. Whenever they kind of go up against those types of teams. Do I believe that they can score? Yes. I think Jalen Williams, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander can kind of get whatever bucket that he wants. Josh Giddey is going to be, I believe, a liability in the playoffs when it comes to scoring, because we do know that the game does slow down. And he's been a guy that's kind of been inconsistent from 3. So I don't think they, like, even if they go up against, like, the Timberwolves, I feel like they'd be a little bit undersized. I've always kind of thought OKC was a piece away, need a little bit, maybe another big, another guy that can kind of create their own shot. I believe Jalen Williams is a guy who is up and coming and is a rising star and can be that third guy to that Chet Shea fiddle. But I don't believe that their time is now. Obviously, I feel like everybody would kind of agree with me unless they live in OKC, because they're obviously the number 1 seed right now. So I think that they should go after somebody in free agency. They have a ton of draft picks in the next however many drafts, so they should use some of those draft picks to get somebody in free agency or somebody that's under contract. I don't believe they're really paying anybody right now. I think Shea's due for a contract next summer, not this coming up summer, the summer next summer, but his contract's gonna be like the first
$400 meal, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be something insane, because their salary. We all know that in the NBA, the salary cap just goes up and up pretty much every year. So I feel like what the OKC Thunder team should do is definitely make a trade for somebody this offseason before they start paying guys like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and kind of start to lose out on the salary cap. And I believe Sam Presti is one of the better GMs in the league and can make something like that happen. I mean, he had 3 MVPs. Now, well, this is, before they kind of, stepped into their own. But at one point in time, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant were all on the same team. And we saw what they were able to do. And Sam Presti is kind of building something similar to that currently right now with the team that they have constructed. So I think not right now. I don't think the Thunder can win a championship. But I would think kind of later down the line, they can definitely contend and be one of the better teams in the NBA for sure.
So when I did this question, like Jaevon Toddy mentioned, I looked up the draft picks.
Whole government.
We better hope they don't win a championship this year, because they have 2 lottery picks and another one in the late round. So this team if they can really make a Western Conference run, because they won't have to see the Nuggets until the Western Conference Finals. So if it ends the way it ends today, they won't have to see them to the Western Conference Finals.
Where would OKC be picking in this year's draft?
They have the Jazz pick and they have the Rockets pick. So they're both top. They're both projected lottery picks.
They're like top. What you think?
Damn, that's crazy, man.
The Jazz are the 12th best team, and the Rockets are the 11th best team. So they're
next unhappy superstar.
Lower lottery.
You know who I want OKC to draft?
Nobody. They're going to trade those picks. They don't need youngsters.
They better not trade those picks.
If they could get a guy like Rob Dillingham.
Oh no, they won't be that high. They won't be that high.
That would be scary.
Rob top 3.
That would be. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, how high is their pick?
Yeah, it ain't that high.
They can bundle those picks together and go get a top pick.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I don't think
the boost
picks.
They should get someone in that prime right now who knows how to win and boost it that way. Like, Kawhi droppage. You know what I'm saying? That type of a guy. I think that would be the best.
Money in this draft is like going to be
Levine. I don't know. I know he makes a lot of money. He's on a cheap team though. Why not?
It's going to be interesting.
Levine ain't going to OKC.
He probably don't want to go there for sure. But hey, talking about player wise.
You would want like somebody.
Chicago's like top 3 city though, ain't it?
They don't really need. They wouldn't really need a superstar.
They just need a dude to come in and play his role.
So if they could get one of these young guys that's playing really well in college, or overseas, or in the G League, and get them on an OKC, a good team already, that young player coming into that team doesn't have the weight on his shoulders to like change.
They're like an Aaron Gordon in a way, just like Denver was. So
just someone come in and play their role
for the system.
All right,
I feel like OKC drafts so well. I feel like you should keep your picks.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
They got a lot of young guys on that bench though.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of young guys don't mix. That's why I'm like, you got to get a couple guys.
At some point, you have to realize that we're competing with the number 1 team in the West. This lottery pick ain't gonna cut the rotation anyways.
Let's go out and get Gordon.
Let's go out.
Because young guys always mean most of the time waiting for them to get there, and it's like when your team's already ready to go and make that next step, it's hard to wait. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to wait for guys. You know what I'm saying? Like the only person that really boosts people like that is like Kuzma, who got boosted by LeBron. Who are these young guys really just get boosted like that? I mean, our guy Keegan Murray got boosted. He did pretty well on that. So
who Kevin did not want.
I really wanted Ivy, man. I was really on the Ivy show. I was really on the Shade Sharp. I was really on the Shade Sharp thing, but that's we leave that in the past.
We got a shooter now, Kev.
We're gonna mix things up a little bit and do factor cap in the middle of the show. So we have some hard-hitting basketball factor caps. So, Alex, I'm gonna swing it to you first. Jason Tatum will be the next American to win MVP. Factor cap.
Only because and I think this is not his fault that he's been so good so long. Nothing feels new, or it doesn't. I feel like because he already made that leap his rookie year, it's hard to make another leap when you're already so good. I mean, what? He's been to the conference finals 4 times. He's been in the league 6.
You take it for granted, basically.
Yeah, you kind of take it for granted. And I think it's unfortunate, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like, I don't know, you have Ant. I feel like
that's the man who's going to get it.
Would probably be the next one to get it.
All right, Gary, I'm going to swing it to you next. Factor cap. Jason Tatum will be the next American to win MVP.
Oh, so if I was a betting man, I think I'm going to have to say, you know what? I'm going to say fact. The reason I'm going to say fact is I really wanted to say, like I just mentioned, I'm copying Alex again, I think. I really wanted to say Anthony Edwards, I feel like, was going to be the next one because he got the whole package in terms of off-court, on-court, charismatic, just popularity in terms of just boom-bang plays like we seen last night. Like, my God, like, usually I seen them get deducted points when you dunk, you do the throw-in done. But when you pause that thing, you see him above the rim, it counts still. Like, he's throwing in him because he's above it type thing. So, man, oh, man, John Collins has some posters himself, but that was not a beautiful one on him last night. And I think he got subbed out after 2, which makes it even worse. Oh, my God. But, man, I'm gonna say fact for Jason Tatum just because he's been knocking on the door already for a few times. He's been knocking on the door longer than Anthony Edwards has been. Also, I feel like he's on a big-time terrific franchise that's going to keep giving him those eyes and ears for him to keep getting those type of votes. He is the man. He's with Nike, right? Am I tripping? No, he's with Jordan. Jordan. So Jordan. So that might be a negative because Ant. See, like I feel like it's kind of hard to say, but I do feel like Nike guys get pushed a little more in the MVP conversation because they're sponsored. You know how those business works. But those two guys aren't. Anthony Edwards I think is with Adidas, right? And Jason Tatum's with Jordan. So maybe someone can skip the line. Who is the next? I guess Nike athlete coming out. I'm not sure who's next on the Nike outlet circuit here, but I would say out of those two, I'm going to have to lean Jason Tatum. So I'm going to say fact as that he can be an MVP soon. Man, he could have maybe been MVP this year just if maybe I guess the numbers were a little higher because the winning's there and everything like that. So he's on the knocking on the door just a little bit tad faster, I think, than Anthony Edwards is coming. But I mean, also we're going to mention real quick names that could potentially get the MVP as an American. Mr. Tyrese Halliburton himself. He was knocking on the door probably in the beginning of this year. Being Mr. Triple-Double, being the man of the offense. Vaughn, I don't know why you're looking like that. That man is literally – did we forget? I'm not going to – the beginning of the year, he was not talked about as being that guy. Literally, All-Star game was literally about him. After the injury, kind of went downhill. So I thought he should be in that conversation. And one more last person that I thought we should mention that could be in the conversation as a young buck who can get it next from American side is that man who lost 25 pounds, my guy, Mr. Zion Williamson. Oh, if he could put one season together – people want to give him the MVP already. They're just begging him to eat right, and he's finally, get his body right. And, he's getting his body right now and doing a thing. So if he can get it put together, we know that first year he already has it. See, his stats are just crazy because he's always around the rim. No one can stop him. So he's unguardable, really. So he can get the stats. His team can be higher level. His is about being healthy all year. And also, I don't know how much the league's going to be pushing Pelican games to get him the notoriety to get votes. So, that plays a factor. That's what I'm talking about. Who's sponsored by Nike and which teams are on bigger franchises. That, that plays a part in some which way. So those are the guys I feel like are kind of next on this list for American players winning MVP.
All right. Now it's time to ask the second Celtics fan on the panel. Toddy, fact or cap? Jason Tatum will be the next American to win MVP.
Well, I mean, the answer is yes, Jason Tatum.
Facts.
He has all of the accolades, multiple All-NBAs, multiple All-Stars, multiple conference titles. It's kind of set in stone. Like, why wouldn't he win it? He's on the best team. I don't know if he wins it this year, but I mean, he's kind of just been accustomed to winning. Pretty much his whole NBA, you could argue his whole basketball career. I mean, just even at Duke, winner, winning at, rookie year, he's dunking on LeBron in the conference finals. Like, what more do you want from him? There's just a bunch of just crazy Euros right now. Obviously, Embiid, Joker, Luka, all those guys. Shea, a lot of people forget that Shea is not American. He's from Canada. So he's one of those guys. I'd say the runner-up guy is definitely who's coming up as fast as possible is Anthony Edwards. He's one of those guys I'm like, he could be the best player in the league fairly quickly. Another guy who I think can be the next American, Paolo Banchero is another guy who I think can definitely be one of those ones. Kev knows Paolo Banchero, even at Duke, has just been one of the best players in the league at a young age. You kind of just see him taking those big. People don't know about him because he's not on TV like Ant
Orlando,
is, like JT, like Joker. The Orlando Magic just aren't on TV. You got to watch them on League Pass. All the hoop heads know Paolo is one of those guys. Tyrese Halliburton. I would say Jalen Brunson before Tyrese Halliburton, in my opinion. I've seen Jalen Brunson.
The disrespect is fucking insane.
I see Jalen Brunson do it in the playoffs. So I mean,
he's had his MVP caliber year this year, and he hasn't been in the conversation like that.
I just think Halliburton is too inconsistent. I get that.
My man was injured, brother.
He's definitely one of the better point guards in the league. Would like to see him do it at a playoff level. I've seen Jalen Brunson do it at a playoff level. Jalen Brunson's been averaging like 40 in his last 3 games. So I mean, he's been on an insane tear. Just killed the Kings the other night, by the way. But I'd say those guys, Tatum, Tatum, Anthony Edwards, Paolo, Brunson can be one of those guys. Zion's an intriguing one. Like if he was already on the cover of 2K and he was in the league 20 minutes. He was in the league 20 minutes. So they're like, they think that he can be the next guy for sure. I don't think Halliburton can win MVP like ever.
Mitchell?
Donovan
Mitchell?
I don't see that. Mitchell's more of a guy that you can be in line for the scoring title. I don't know if he would be.
Yeah, like Trae Young. Like they're not going to give MVP because he doesn't.
Shit, I'll even put Devin Booker in that conversation. A guy who can win MVP.
I would put Paul George. I would like him to be the next.
Paul George is passed.
He'd be another guy that probably be.
I know it won't happen, but
more scoring title-y. But yeah, I'm just naming guys that I think are better than Tyrese.
The disrespect is insane.
Yeah.
No one has mentioned this guy's name. Factor Cap. Jason Tatum will be the next American to win MVP. This is Cap. You know who you guys did not mention? The Dangler. John Morant. The last full season.
Oh, we forgot about
him. He's right.
27 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists.
Dangler. Damn it.
He's been here all season.
I mean, yeah, but this is a lot of recency bias. I mean, we might not see another American win MVP for, 2-3 years with Victor coming up. It might be a minute.
Not with Ant.
Bro, Ant's not Luka. Ant's not Shea.
I think
not
Ant's
Giannis.
better than Ja, though.
Ant's better than Ja.
Thank God you said it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's neck and neck.
He's way better.
Bro,
That's right there. I was just going to bring that up.
John Morant. John Morant.
I'm not
Edwards
forgetting
is gonna
about
get it
John
because
Morant. I
he's
just
on
think
defense.
Anthony Edwards has been. He is one of the. He's.
We are
he's like,
forgetting about John.
he's.
But
scared.
John's not going to be
John
loved. The
Morant
love is not going to
too.
go there unless he just really kills.
John's
everybody.
definitely one of them ones, though. He's one of the top players in the league for sure. When healthy,
No, for
but
sure.
I just,
He'd be all NBA if he was playing shit.
Oh, John.
You seen him? Have you
The
seen
world
him?
loves
recently?
John. Who got a sneaker first? John Morant. Who about to be the face of Nike before all that?
I said he's a year ahead of him, ain't he?
Don't matter.
Hey, just a year ahead. That's
I'm
what
not
lying,
saying,
Phil.
bro. Y'all forgetting
Did John
about John
Morant
Morant.
hit his head on the rim trying to get a game-winning block?
Hey,
No.
John
You don't
Moran
have
was
to be
Nike,
Jaren
though.
Jackson to do that.
John Moran's Nike, right? John Moran's Nike.
John doesn't
All
run
right,
Nike. Yeah, you got a point
Yeah,
there.
I ain't lying. I might help him. It
Nike
might
didn't
help
let him
out
go?
there.
No.
No, I don't
And
think
then
so.
secondly, Tyrese Halliburton. I get it. Recency bias. There was a time when he was the only person in NBA history to average 26 points, 11 assists, and shoot 90, 50, 40. The
I would say
only
he
person
was
in the
responsible for
NBA. 78 years of NBA, and no one else has ever done this. I get it. He fell off because of the injury, but that motherfucker can ball, and he showed it to the world. Like, I knew a lot of people before this didn't really know about Tyrese Halliburton, but that just goes to show that you don't really know ball. Tyrese Halliburton is a baller, and I don't know why he can't. I do not know why he
can more than
cannot
hoop
win it.
on. Hold on now.
So, John
All right,
Morant
I was
and
gonna mention
Tyrese
one more
Halliburton
person that
will
we
be
should
mine.
have said that. Okay, we got one more person we actually probably didn't mention that they're not going to mention now just because they probably feel like he's maxed out, but he's a great player. So what he really does on the floor, he should really get mentioned, but he won't. And it's Mr. Anthony Davis himself.
Oh,
Mr.
hell no.
Can really, I know, but defensively though,
Dog,
I'm saying he should get He should
His stats will be
No,
better.
but
His stats
should
will
he
never
be
be better
mentioned?
than any other
He's not.
big. His
But
stats
should
will
he be
never be
mentioned?
better than
But-
another big.
That's what I'm saying. Like he should have been mentioned, but he's not being mentioned.
Yeah, he's kind of like Paul George. Like I feel like Paul George should have got MVP when he was in OKC. That was his only chance.
Yeah.
Like
I just
AD
feel
was
like
his
the
only
Lakers are
chance
probably
was
like,
when he
damn,
was
we
with
thought he was the
Pelicans.
MVP in Lakers jersey. Shit, we thought when they got him.
That's true. But Alex, I appreciate you holding it down for us. We appreciate you coming on for the show. This is episode 86. Want to just say shout out to Alex, man. Plain and simple. We hope you have a great rest of your night, and looking forward to you coming on next time.
All right, be safe.
All right,
Don't do drugs.
Tell my mama I love her.
Yeah, I won't.
Have a good night.
All right, so we are now transitioning into the football portion of episode 86. And since we're doing Factor Cap, I figured we just dive right into it. So, Toddy, this is coming to you first. I told you guys to come prepared. I told you to bring your top three wide receiver duo, Fact or Cap. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are a top three wide receiver duo in the NFL. Garry, I'm going to swing it to you first. Fact or Cap. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are a top three duo in the NFL.
Just FYI, NFL has been so much shit going on. I'm not gonna lie, I have not had a time to even look in terms of what really has the land still hasn't been falling yet, actually. The draft ain't here yet, so things really haven't been laid down yet. But right now, based on what I've seen, I guess a couple of free agency moves, I'm gonna go with Cap for sure. Keenan Allen's great. DJ Moore's great. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet. I mean, we probably knew with the Bears who they're going to lean with now, obviously, but after the trading Fields this weekend to my team. But I'm going to say Cap. Just that. Well, first of all, they haven't played together at all, so I'm not going to even mention them. They don't even. I mean, I guess on potential care they can get dimension together, but since they haven't even played together, they're not really going to be in my mind. I think top wide receiver duo. I'm still going to rock with last year, Waddle and Hill. I believe Waddle didn't get traded. I know Tyreek Hill didn't get traded. So those two are still top of the line for me. With Tua still there, that familiarity. Second, I'm going to go with probably still Mr. Kev, Mr. AJ Smith, and AJ Brown,
and
Devontae Smith. I think those guys, having a bounce back year with obviously, again, key components, still have Jalen Hurts in the mix. Again, I thought about that. We still got some, repetitions with their quarterback and their core. So I'm going off of guys who've already proven it before. Doesn't mean DJ Moore and Keenan Allen cannot have a great year next year with Caleb Williams. They maybe can shock the world and go up next. And the third guy is going to make y'all laugh, but I don't care. Pickens and whoever you throw else with them.
Oh,
whoever you throw in. If it's Ayuk, it's coming. If it's Ayuk, it's coming. Yeah, I'm wearing a Steelers shirt on purpose, my fandom. This podcast is fandom right now for me. So Pickens and whoever they got, Ayuk, I know Vaughn, y'all love him. So I remember hearing about him all year, so I'll take him. I wanted, what's his name, but Mike Williams, but Kev already posted he was going to the Jets, so that kind of hurt my heart. So whoever we can line up with next to him after we traded who did we trade? I forgot our second option. Oh, my God. We already traded him now. I already forgot his name. Sorry.
Oh, Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. Wish him well. But one thing we do well is in Pittsburgh, we probably don't need to really pay. We don't really need to go get a guy unless a guy wants to come cheap because we know how to draft wide receivers. So whoever young buck next under Pickens, I'm going to go with him because I think his time is coming, especially with Mr. Fields and Mr. Russell Wilson there.
Ooh. Let's ride.
Scratch my
Steeler
head.
country.
Here we go, you mean here we go.
Here we go.
That's what we
All right,
say.
Tiny. I'm going to bring it to you next. Factor Cap. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are a top 3 duo in the NFL.
I'm going to say this is Cap. I think they are one. I think they're top 5, though. Like, they're kind of like right outside. One is probably Waddle and Hill. Those guys put up insane numbers pretty much every year that they've been together. So, because right now, it's kind of tricky.
Go ahead. I know it hurts you to say it. Go ahead and say it.
I was going to say the Bengals are one of the teams, too, just because Jamar is Jamar.
Wait, T. Higgins didn't get traded, or am I tripping?
Nah, he's
this
getting
is
traded.
technicality, so this could.
Oh, he might be my third one. I forgot about him. I thought he'd already traded by now.
Definitely debunk itself within the next couple of days. T. Higgins is one of those. We argued about T. Higgins, the number 1 wide receiver, I believe, on last week's podcast. So currently, right now, I think the Bengals are in there. Obviously, the San Francisco 49ers are in there with Debo and Brandon Ayuk.
Pending.
You have an all-pro receiver. Yeah, another pending guy. We'll probably get into that a little later. The Eagles are obviously in there. The Eagles are, you obviously have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, all-pro, potentially another all-pro in the maybe upcoming years. But those guys are definitely matchup nightmares. And then you kind of get into that, no man's land of who else. Like the Cowboys have one receiver, the Giants have nobody. The Commanders they got Terry McLaurin. Detroit, you can kind of they have Amon-Ra, but it's like who is that other guy that you can kind of pair him up with? I'm a big believer in what's it called? I am blanking on his name. Against us. The Jameson Williams. He's a guy I think that's up and coming. The Minnesota Vikings I think have a great duo in Jettas and Jordan Addison. He's one of those guys I think can get open and get his own He can catch whatever ball, run any route that you kind of put him up there with. And the Bears, they have an argument. So it's like Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. DJ Moore is the number one wide receiver. Keenan Allen is obviously a number one wide receiver who's been very consistent throughout his career. A guy who can, catch 100 balls in his sleep. You pair him up with a guy in DJ Moore, and you can argue by the end of the draft, you could kind of throw it in there. We'll have to go into trios, but depending on who the Bears select at number 9, whoever's available, if they select a receiver, whether it's Neighbors, whether it's a Dunze, at number 3, Caleb Williams could be walking into some shit real fast. So, most games going into it, you could argue the Bears will have the better offense pretty much on any given week. Because they're going to have.
First time to say that in a long time.
I'm on record saying he's a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, and I do stand on that. Only time will tell with that. They have one of the better backs, as Kevin knows, DeAndre Swift, in the backfield who can run, pass, catch out of the backfield. And they have obviously those two guys in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. I did see that they obviously have Cole Kmet. I also saw that they picked up Gerald Everett, which is a sneaky, a lot of people aren't really picking up on that. And I did not. That kind of like flew under the radar. He's another get for those guys. And if they can add a Roma Dunze or Malik Neighbors to his offense, they might win the division. I'm not kidding about that either.
It's going to be interesting to see. So factor cap, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are a top 3 wide receiver duo. This is a fact. So let me break it down to you. This is tentative. Actually, no, I'm going to stand on this. They are a top 3 duo in the NFL. At number 1, you have, like you guys mentioned, you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. It's not even up for debate. Tyreek Hill is almost going for 2,000 yards, and you have Jalen Waddle going for 13. It's not going to debate, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. You have A.J. Brown, like Toddy said, all-pro receiver. You have Devontae Smith, who we saw when A.J. Brown went down that playoff game, show that he could be an all-pro if he was the number 1 option. Yeah, so it's 2 all-pro talents there. And then number 3 has to be Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, both coming off career years. DJ Moore last season, 1,364 yards, 8 touchdowns, and he had a career high in catches with 96 catches. And then Keenan Allen's coming off another career year, 1,243 yards, 7 touchdowns, 108 catches. They were both Pro Bowlers, both arguably top 15 wide receivers last year. So it's kind of crazy not to say that they could be a top 3 duo. There's another duo that we could talk about, the DK Metcalf, the Tyler Lockett's, the Jamar Chase, the T. Higgins. I'm surprised no one mentioned the Bucks because I know it's Chris Godwin, so he kind of makes the duo fall off.
I was just going to say
Chris
that.
Godwin and Mike Evans, Mike Evans is
we missed a big one, guys.
Consistency. And then I'm not going to say the what did Ty say, the scat back? Is that what Debo's position is, the wide back? Yeah, no, I'm not even. He has to put him in the receiver column. They're not top 3 at all. He's a scat back. He doesn't want to do it. And yeah, you have Brandon Ayuk, 1,300 yards, all pro. So I'll stamp it. But for them to be a top duo in the NFL, I'm taking DJ Moore and Keenan Allen every day of the week and twice on Sundays over Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. What's going on here?
Before our podcast gets canceled here for being idiots on the podcast on live national television. I mean, not national television. I wish one day. But we missed a big one, guys. I'm not going to lie. We named a lot of names as duo shit, and I'm not going to lie. We missed a big time. We didn't mention Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. I'm not going to cap.
Bro, there's a reason.
Like no, what? What is
They're
reason?
They're not top
they could
3,
be top
Garry.
3. They could be better than Brown and Smith next year. Literally, if they play all year, they could be Brown and Smith next year.
You realize you have to say if?
Kupp has been he's been in and out of the lineup with
That's it. 1 year.
Matthew Stafford gets hurt,
year.
the production goes down.
But Puka comes out how he was this year. Kupp comes how he's supposed to come. Had a great playoff game too. They can be right back at it.
We saw Puka's stats go down when Cooper was back. So now they both play full 17 games. Is Puka going to be the same Puka?
I think they're going to get together. And you know what? Flowers and Bateman.
No.
I just want to know they should.
Yeah, we're going off a ringer here. You're about to get us canceled.
Nah, those guys
are
I'm going to say
David wasn't even the number 2 receiver.
Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk. Good duo, though. It's a pretty solid duo.
All right, it's time to move on. We're going off a rail here. All right.
Those even solid duos. I can't believe Cooper and Kupp.
Yeah, no, Cooper and I get it, man. Like they could be top 10.
Could be in there.
Who?
Okay, yeah, it's time to go.
Ridley.
It's time to go. So we're moving on to the football topics. So we are going to start it off with the Falcons. Toddy, I'm going to swing it to you first. Can the Falcons be a contender in the NFC?
Is this a factor cap?
No, just a regular topic.
I think so. They added a lot on the offensive side. They got Rondale Moore for Desmond Ridder. That was pretty crazy to me. So kind of like in the span of a couple of weeks, they got Kirk Cousins. They got they have Rondale Moore. So I'm just going off the entirety of their offense. You got Kyle Pitts, Rondale Moore. You have Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and now you have a guy who a very consistent can throw you 4,000 to 5,000 yards a season. This is a guy who's been very consistent throughout the years. Does only have one playoff win, so that's kind of where it gets tricky. But I feel like Kirk Cousins has been a regular season warrior for how long it's ever been, and Atlanta is starving for something like that because they need to get back to some sort of winning, NFC South titles, because we've all in the past have believed that the NFC South has been, in the past couple of years, been up for grabs ever since Tom Brady has kind of left. And even when that last year that Brady was in, that was kind of a debacle, and they kind of just lucked into the NFC South title. For the most part, that division has been, kind of up in arms. But the Saints have kind of dabbled in winning that division, and then it kind of transferred to Tampa Bay. But I think that they're going to win. They're going to go to I think they'll win the division this year. So you guys can kind of go and place your bets now. Place your bets now for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't even know what the odds are currently right now. They're probably, I think after they signed Kirk Cousins, the odds went up for them. They were plus 5,000 before to win the Super Bowl, and then when Kirk Cousins signed, they were plus 3,000. So obviously Vegas thinks that they got better. I just think with the weapons that Kirk Cousins has been surrounded with, it's kind of impossible for him to not win the division if healthy. I'm just looking at what Bryce Young has looked like. He looked anemic last year. Obviously, he's getting, an upgrade as a coach in Dave Canales. Who do you get as a receiver? I forgot who. Deontay Johnson. That's who we got. Is Deontay Johnson number one? Is that going to help him? I'm not sure. The Panthers need help everywhere. It's not just receiver or the offense. They need a running back. They need an O-line. They need a new edge rusher after they traded Brian Burns. They need a little bit of everything. The Saints, God knows what I have went through with the Saints. Just gambling on them constantly throughout the year, saying that they were going to go to the NFC Championship was insane. I feel like what I thought the Saints would have been last year is what the Falcons are going to be this year. I don't know if they'll get to the NFC Championship game, but they can definitely win a playoff game, because if you win your division, you get a home playoff game. So that's going to be an automatic bid for them. And I feel like with how they did in free agency, they're probably one of the better teams I thought in free agency, other than the Philadelphia Eagles, to go out and kind of, spend some money. They kind of went out
pay to play.
And as Kevin has said to me numerous times off air, you got to pay to play. I thought the Falcons were one of the better teams that kind of transformed their teams. They can, the Falcons were like 6-7. They won 6 games last year. I think adding Kirk Cousins can get you at least 2 to 3 more wins. And the Falcons were in a lot of close games last year, and I feel like them having a lack of stability at quarterback, with them playing a turnover machine in Desmond Ridder and another guy who likes to throw picks in Taylor Heineke, it adds some stability. I can't remember. Was the last time? Oh, Matt Ryan was the last time they had like a 4,000. I was going to say Michael Vick. The last time they had a 4,000-yard passer. But Matt Ryan, once upon a time, won an MVP. So that was when Kyle Shanahan was definitely calling plays for him. So that did help. So I'm not saying Kirk Cousins can win MVP, but it wouldn't hurt to sprinkle some money on it, because he might put up crazy numbers in this offense that he's going to have next year. So, yes, I'll say that in answering the question, the Falcons will be a contender in the NFC. They'll be one of those teams that didn't make the playoffs last year and kind of flip, because we see a bunch of those because there's so much turnover with free agency. They'll be one of those teams that'll make the playoffs that didn't in the previous year.
All right, Gary, I'm going to swing it to you next. Can the Falcons be a contender in the NFC?
NFC South, that's what they're contending for. That's about the only thing they're going to be contending for in the NFC, my guys. You know, they did a lot. Vaughn did a great job going through all the moves and acquisitions they had. But if Kirk Cousins is your biggest quote-unquote signee that you're really proud about, shouldn't be too bad. A man that's off his ACL, just tore his ACL.
Achilles,
excuse me. Achilles, you know, wish the man is best health and hope he gets better and hope, banged a lot of teams over the head to get where he's gotten to get banking on himself and keep doing what he's doing. You know, everyone mentioned shout out to his agent for, helping him out and getting him through this. So, and I think he mentioned the other day, he should, I co-signed what he said. He said, why would I be apologizing for making the money I made in the league to provide for my family, as he should not apologize. So nothing against him and their team. But like I mentioned, the NFC South, because of how wide open it could be and how wide open it's really been. But if we really go talking about contenders, I'm thinking your top three knocking on the door really to the Super Bowl, and those spots are already filled up, guys. We already know San Francisco is still knocking on that door, and whatever they did, they got enough firepower as Von Smiles, even though his team kind of got stripped down this offseason, but still got some main components. We got Detroit that obviously shocked the world last year, and they should still be taking a step forward because they still got a lot of great young guys in their team and moving forward, the nucleus. They also got Green Bay, who proved themselves to be a team that could be scary, knocking out the Cowboys, I think, last year and getting the slap on their face. So they're still a team, and we have a Cavs team that's still with the bounce back. We added Barkley and still need a couple things, but still finished overall 11-6 last year, even though it didn't end so great. They still should be knocking on the door with how much talent that team had. I just named basically 4 teams that can easily be better, and I didn't even mention Seattle, which can still was 9-8. They made a couple tweakages, and maybe even the Rams. Even though they had a Hall of Famer, retired, them making the playoffs and almost beating that Detroit Lions team. Very close game, if we recall. So they can always still make noise with Stafford, McVay, and the 2 guys I mentioned earlier were great wide receivers in themselves with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So there's still about 4 teams they still have to jump. And I don't think Kirk Cousins and them are going to be jumping himself. Basically, he went from a Minnesota Vikings about here, and now he's going to help the Atlanta Falcons be here. Same spot, ain't no really change. Beat about 4. Basically, even though Minnesota, if you really look at it, they got a lot of good young guys too. So maybe they should have kept him there, or he should have went there because they still were building. But I guess he wanted a fresh start in a new place. So, playing in a dome in Atlanta, that hopefully they get that city rocking and rolling. Because when they are rocking and rolling, it is a cool place to see and see them turn up for their team. So I hope they get going. But in terms of contending for the Super Bowl and contending to the NFC Championship game, I don't really see it, guys. You're going to have to make me a believer.
And you know what, Gary? I'm happy you came in here on that kind of energy because Toddy was screaming his praises and mentioned all these acquisitions and mentioned all this talent. Anyone better than Justin Jefferson? I know B-Dog's great. Are we ready to say he was better than prime Dalvin Cook? TJ Hawkinson? It's Kyle Pitts, TJ Hawkinson? Kirk's had a lot of talent, 4,000-yard seasons, 4,000-yard season after this, 4,000-yard season after this. How many playoff wins does he have? 1. So, yes, you want to say Kirk can do this, Kirk can do this. We've seen it. We've seen it with our own 2 eyes, but we've also seen Kirk lose to Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, ladies and gentlemen. So as much as we, like Gary said, the Vikings, all the talent, all-pro wide receiver, best receiver of the game. He has all these weapons. He had prime Dalvin Cook and couldn't do nothing. So I don't know why going to a weaker conference is going to make him a contender because that division with the Vikings was coming up. You got Jordan Love coming up, Caleb Williams. The Bears were coming. The Packers were here. The Lions were here. It was a lot of competition over there. So he went to a division where he'll always make the playoffs. But what does that mean when they host a game like they did last year or 2 years ago and the Giants come to town and the new wild card comes to town and beats them? Like Kirk Cousins, we were in the same cycle. Like he has the arm talent. He can do it all. No one's worried that he's going to take a step back after the Achilles. but we've seen Kirk Cousins. How many times do we have to see it? He's about 1-4, 1-5 in the playoffs, fellas. We've seen it a lot. He can't get that team over the hump. So I'm going to say, I don't know if there'll be a contender. Will they win their division? Of course, like Toddy said, the Panthers have holes, the Bucks, I don't know about Baker Mayfield.
Can they win a playoff game?
You said what?
Can they win a playoff game?
I don't know, bro. Because like Garry mentioned,
they play the Cowboys.
Like y'all would say, like the Cowboys, they're gonna play like the Rams. They could play the Saints. They could play.
The Bucks won a playoff game last year.
Hey man, so we're gonna have to see, but I'm not willing to put all my money in the pot for Kirk Cousins. So
I think they could win a playoff game.
I mean, it would have to be hella dependent on the matchup because let's say the Lions win the division, the Packers got to go there. You know what I mean? You're not gonna take the Falcons over the Packers, are you?
We don't think Kirk, with the team that he has now, can do what Baker did last year?
So who's Mike Evans? Drake London?
You got Drake, you got Kyle. They got some dudes over there.
Yeah, but that's not 1,000
every
time he touched the season, every season.
That's not a coach that's been in the championship proven too.
Yeah, that's not with a good defense.
Got a good coach too.
It's a lot going on. So
I think they can win a playoff game. That's what I think they can do. So technically,
they could be set up as Detroit of last year. I'm not gonna lie, they could be set up like that coming up this year. But a lot of things have to go right.
I feel like the two teams that they're kind of looked at as comparable to is there's the Detroit and then there's the Bucks. I feel like they're closer to the Bucks than they are at Detroit, who went to the NFC Championship last year. There's a big difference between that divisional round and the NFC Championship game. I think that they can get to the divisional round and kind of it just be all right. Let's see where that can be there. It's fair game from there, but I think they could win a playoff game. Like I think they can kind of duplicate what the Bucks did last year, and that's win a playoff game at home. They beat the Eagles last year. The Bucks beat the Eagles last year in the playoffs at home. Do the Falcons get matched up with the? I guess it would depend on the matchup, but I do still believe that they could win a playoff game.
All right, so Toddy, actually, you know what, Garry? I'm gonna swing this to you next. This got your man Justin Fields in it. Oh, he's muted. Garry, you ready? All right, I'm gonna swing it to you first, Toddy. Did the Bears fail Justin Fields?
This is kind of I'm good. My bad.
This is kind of a loaded question because I'm seeing a lot of people say it's Ryan Poles' fault and blah 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 and this, and I'm like, all right. Ryan Poles came in. Justin Fields had already kind of been in turmoil. Like it was kind of like that first year with blanking on his name. He's Matt not Canada. Matt
Nagy.
Nagy. There we go. Matt Nagy. So that first year was, oh my God, it was so bad. And then last year Poles comes in, trades, that pick with the Panthers, and he's like, "Hey, let me come in and let me get you some help. Okay, let me come in, let me get you a number one receiver, DJ Moore. You already got commit. Let's get the ball rolling here. Let's try and figure some shit out." Nothing really stuck. He had a little spark, like a 2-game stretch where it's like, "Oh my God, Justin Fields." And that's kind of what made me buy my stocks. So I am announcing my retirement from the Justin Fields fan club live on air.
Wow.
I've already
Why
kind of
when
said
he
it
goes to
in
my
chat.
team, huh?
I'm selling all my stock to Shaun. I'm turning in my badge right here. Just off the simple fact of we've seen a couple of years of Justin Fields. We've seen a couple of sparks here, but he's never really gained any traction. Now, that could be, the coach was crap or he never really had any help. And I'm just like, oh, well, he did have a DJ Moore. And, people have dealt with
Shaun is not happy that you got rid of
he's dealt with worse. So I wouldn't say you could argue the Bears. I wouldn't say that they failed him. They gave him a shot and he didn't pan out. So I think the Bears want what Jordan Love did in like a year span. They wanted to see something like that from Justin Fields, but they kind of just weren't able to get anything out of him even after they gave him a DJ Moore. Now, Jordan Love didn't get a guy. I don't think he has a guy whose caliber is at DJ Moore's caliber, but he kind of came in and just started slinging it. Now he is in the Shanahan system with Mike with LaFleur, so that could be, that could go a long way for a bunch of young quarterbacks who come in with the offensive head coach. Usually succeed for the most part. Not the same thing with Justin Fields. Now, the situation that they have kind of coming in with, stumbling into the number 1 overall pick with 7 wins is pretty insane to me. And it just so happens that, Caleb Williams is the number 1 overall pick and was the former Heisman Trophy winner, and he's supposed to be a generational talent. You could argue if Caleb Williams wasn't in this draft, Justin Fields could be the guy still. I just think who's getting drafted right now is kind of like, yeah, I'm not passing up on this. Now it could be, Justin Fields didn't get enough time. You could argue that the organization kind of did. I don't think the organization failed him. I just think there's just been a history with the Bears not being able to get the quarterback right, and Chicago fans have just suffered since Greg Roseman and Jay Cutler and the 85 Bears is just like, we can never get the quarterback right. So I think on this new regime with Ryan Poles, it's going to be a totally different story because they're getting a guy. I'm already talking like the draft already happened, but I think we all know who's going number 1. But I just think, Justin Fields, he just needed a fresh start, I think. Get a guy. I don't know how. I'd love to hear what Gary's takes are, but I think with this new situation that he's kind of going to is good for him. He's sitting behind a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Didn't have that in Chicago, so he'll definitely see it from a different perspective. The Steelers, I believe, have a higher standard than the Chicago Bears when it comes to just prestige, winning. Mike Tomlin is all about stability. So that'll be good for him to go to Pittsburgh and kind of just learn and see the game through a different lens. But did the Bears fail Justin Fields? I'll say no, because just in the time of just everything and kind of how things shook up for them. People were saying, "Well, you didn't get him, Keenan Allen," and I was like, "You got him. Cole Kmet's pretty good. DJ Moore's pretty good." Khalil Herbert, or who was their running back last year? Was it Khalil
Herbert?
Yeah, Khalil Herbert. He's pretty solid, but that's just how it goes sometimes. And in free agency, when you got a little bit of money, you can spend, get guys like Keenan Allen on a bigger, heftier contract, get guys like DeAndre Swift, sign guys like Montez Sweat, and then I get the number 1 pick too, and it's Caleb Williams. Let's go. So I'd say 85% of logical fans shouldn't be mad that the Bears traded Justin Fields and they're getting Caleb Williams. Like, you should be happy. you should be happy on what you're going to be going into next year. So I'm going to say no.
Did the Bears fail Justin Fields? Gary, I'm going to swing this to you last because I want to also hear what you feel about your next QB1, hopefully. So did the Bears fail Justin Fields? Yes. And let me tell you why. 2 different head coaches in 3 years, Matt Nagy and Matt Eberflus. He's had a different offensive coordinator every season. We saw the impact that Mac Jones had his first year, and then a new OC comes in and it changes. We've seen Jalen Hurts have great success with one OC, and then another OC comes in, and it just changes things. To have a different guy in your ear every year changes things. His rookie year, he was pressured on 46% of his dropbacks, which was the highest rate of a pressure a quarterback has faced, and since ESPN has started tracking the stat in 2009. I know you mentioned DJ Moore. I know your wide receivers that he's thrown to over his tenure. Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, Equimius or St. Brown with the other one, not
the other one.
I can't say his name. Gary's guy, Chase Claypool, Dante Pettis, N'Keal Harry, Brian Pringle. You hear a Keenan Allen or DJ Moore? But I'm just saying, this organization failed him. They didn't give him the talent. When they gave him a DJ Moore, no one wants to talk about it. He went through quarterback hell in Carolina. What happens when he gets a quarterback like Justin Fields? Career year. 96 catches, career high. 8 touchdowns, career high. 1,364 yards, career high. This, I know, like Tony mentioned, is different regime, so you can't really blame this current regime, but the Bears weren't giving him any talent.
Like this.
The Bears weren't giving him any talent. Now that you see them going out and getting a Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, they're bringing in guys like Gerald Everett. Like, these guys are bringing in talent. They're spending the money. Like I tell Tony, you got to pay to play. And they were just letting Justin go out there and get rocked. Like, yeah, you want to say Justin wasn't bad, or you want to say Justin was bad, excuse me, but you have to look at what he had around him. Like, a lot of those guys aren't in the NFL anymore. You know what I mean? Like, this was just 3 seasons ago. He didn't have no one to throw to. Cole Kmet was a rookie last year, so he just got to like DJ Moore. Like, I mean, I know Darnell Mooney, say what you want with the Falcons now. He might rejuvenate his career, A, B, C, and D, but they never gave him the correct weapons to go win anything, to go show that he can be that guy. They took him at 11 for a reason, because he was arguably one of the best quarterbacks. If they would have gave him the weapons that Caleb Williams is going to walk into, this is arguably the best rookie quarterback situation in NFL history. Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, 2 arguably top 20, top 15 wide receivers. DeAndre Swift, 1,000 yards last season. Like, these guys are coming off, the Keenan Allen and DJ Moore coming off the best years of their career. Like, Caleb Williams, I know the draft hasn't happened, but we all, like Ty said, we're assuming Caleb Williams is coming in. He's coming into weapons on weapons on weapons. So to answer the question, the Bears definitely failed Justin Fields. What you got to say, Tony?
So Justin Fields threw 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions last year. 2,500 yards. He missed some games, due to injury. 46.1 QBR. That ranks 23rd in the NFL. To kind of put it in perspective, Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles. I think it was like week 7, 8, around that time. He threw 18 touchdowns.
You also have to look, though. Is DJ
So
Moore,
Justin Fields played the entirety of the year. Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles middle of the year and threw more touchdown passes than Justin Fields. That's all I'm going to say.
That proves Kevin's point. They ain't got no one to throw to.
Hey, man, TJ Hawkinson is arguably what, top 5 tight end? Justin Jefferson arguably top 2? I'm just saying, man, it's a lot of talent to throw to, and that's all Kirk does. Justin Fields is a dual threat guy. We saw last season, 2 seasons before, led the NFL in rushing for a quarterback. And then this year, they got him patting the ball in the pocket. You got to let the dual threat do what the dual threat does. But, Gary, I'm going to swing it to you next. On top of answering, did the Bears fail Justin Fields, I want to get your reactions to Justin Fields becoming a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Like Vaughn said, he's selling all his stock. I'll be buying all your stock, my guy. Send it all this way. For the first part of the question, did the Bears fail Justin Fields? To be honest with you, y'all know I'm allergic. I got to steal a line from one of the GOATs in the game, Stephen A. Smith. I'm allergic to losers. I ain't watching the Bears. I ain't watching that. They suck pretty much this whole time he's been there. He's literally been on his quote-unquote back because he's been running around for his life. And the Bears ain't give no offensive quarterback nothing ever. They've been known for defense the whole time. And my Pittsburgh Steelers team is known for defense, but we know a thing or two about offense. We have had prolific offenses, and people know what we do in terms of drafting skilled players. So in terms of failure or not, I think it's pretty much clear what Kev said. They failed him in every which way in terms of the number one thing this guy does is run, and you didn't give him no line. And that's one of the best things. And that's not even for a running quarterback. That's for a quarterback, period. Look at Joe Burrow. You don't got a line, you're going to get injured. You don't got a line, look at, like you mentioned, Kirk Cousins. Look, you ain't got a line, look at Aaron Rodgers.
We can run, though. So, even if you don't got a line, doesn't matter.
But you should still – that's number one thing you should do to build around a team is make a line. Second of all, if you're going to have an offensive guy and, maybe put an offensive system that works with him. That's one of the reason Lamar Jackson works. If you put Lamar Jackson into quote-unquote a Tom Brady style offense, it's not going to work as magical as it is looking right now. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is great, and he's going to look magical because he has that much talent. But when you have talent as much as these guys do, you got to put them in right situations. So I feel like the situation that put Justin Fields in, like I just mentioned, I don't feel like it's the greatest position. Hopefully it was just a thing where, in my sake, I hope they didn't put the best around Devon because I'm hoping the best is still coming, and I hope the best is still yet to come in a Steelers jersey. So I know he's an Ohio State guy, so I think now that's why I got the love from Kevin, the love from Shaun, and I'll take it because I'm hoping this guy, from what we did to fleece them with Poole, and now we chased Claypool a couple years ago. Now we fleeced them with this trade, and the whole he was supposed to get way more, and they're probably just happy because they already got a lot of picks and things of that nature, and they're already building their teams. Maybe they just give it to them just to give them to them. So, oh, well, we got a lottery pick, quote unquote, from the last 3 years on our team now. And from what y'all know, from what our quarterback room, we're switching lanes to my Steelers, look what our quarterback room was looking like last year, the last few years. It's a major upgrade, Kevin. I'm very, very happy, like I mentioned earlier. My team, we are putting the battery in our back, and I don't know, we'll have more time to discuss on how we got Mr. Queen in our defense, and now our defense is even more scarier than it was last year. Offensively, you already know that I feel like we got to look out for the draft to get a line. That's always been our problem. But in terms of having a man we have a Hall of Fame quarterback in our room now. We have a young buck who's literally a top 10 pick in his draft or whatever, like a top 5 quarterback picked in his draft, and has still unloads of potential still to be reached. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. And you were talking about, I think, Kev, you asked me what my QB1 situation is. I'm going to rock what my team said. They're going to say Russell is going to be our number 1, and then Justin Fields will be right behind him. And will I be shocked if Justin Fields by the end of week 17 next year is our number 1 guy? No. Will I be mad about it? No. I'm just happy that we got a whole new set of guys. I'm just really happy my team, like I mentioned earlier. Oh, I didn't mention earlier. I mentioned our chat. Mr. Omar Connor, GM, is where we use, like Vaughn mentioned, we got a championship legacy, and it's finally great to see that we're actually doing what Kev's team does and Vaughn's team's done is being aggressive. You feel me? Being aggressive,
play, baby.
You gotta be pay to play. You just gotta be aggressive.
You gotta pay to play. Are you serious?
Okay,
Kevin?
I didn't say pay. He said pay, but I'm just talking about making moves, baby. Maybe you don't gotta pay.
Hey, bro, they're finessing it. The Broncos is paying for them to play. How about that?
Exactly. We got to make someone pay to play. But all I know is we got to make moves. And we're making moves to make our team better. And that's what I'm happy to see. I was scared that we were going to keep Kenny longer than he was just because he's a pick guy and, that whole thing. And, man, we've been loyal. We're not really – look at our coaching, man. We have 3 coaches playing our whole history, basically. We don't move off guys that quick. Look at Big Ben's last 5 years. Probably wouldn't have moved off him. I love him, but we should have probably moved off him 3 years prior, and we kept on him. A lot of guys – we're a team that's pretty loyal to the soil and teams keeping our guys. So I'm kind of happy we're in this new wave where, we're making things happen, making things spark to get our team better. So I just hope that Mr. Russell Wilson himself is in improvement mode. He knows where he is. I hope he's in. He's a good guy in terms of always speaking the right thing. So hopefully he can just keep, Justin Fields can learn behind him, he did, Russell Wilson is in a situation where he was in before in terms of have a great defense, championship type coach. You're not going to come in here and have your own office, my guy. You're going to do a Steelers way because that's how Mike T runs it, and that's how it's all in his hands. He runs it that way. And players love and respect him because he still lets them have leniency and also still keeps them accountable in the main thing. So I just hope that it's good vibes. Justin Fields learns for a year or 2, however long he needs to get a little bit better, and then we can use that as a bridge type quarterback with Russell Wilson and help maybe even make some noise this year with him. And I think that'll make all parties happy, to be honest with you. I think it'll be Justin Fields a restart, a man that you can learn behind who's kind of similar to you in his prime, and a guy who is – we have a championship caliber team right now, like I mentioned last year, making the playoffs with barely scoring any points, as we know, on offense, literally. And we have a guy who's done that and knows how to manage the game in a way. So we got a little spark to him too. So I'm just happy there's no quote unquote controversy. I'm kind of happy we got an older young guy. We don't got 2 young guys fighting or anything like that. We got an older young guy. It should be kind of go as long as Justin Fields and while reports, he said he wanted to come to us. And him knowing that I don't know if it was before or after Wilson came, but hey man, you wanted to come to us. You want to wear that black and gold. So let's get you right. And yeah, let's get it cooking, guys. I'm ready to see what's happening. Hey. Are you happy Kenny's over there, Kim?
Hey, man. Like I said, he's going to wear both the gloves to hold the PAT. But before we get out of here, we had some comments from our man Shaun Holko, but we have a breaking news announcement. He is here. So I'm going to let him mention to what he said to Garry in the comments about his Justin Fields stock.
Hi, guys. I appreciate you for –
Brother Shaun.
slid on in here. Toddy said, show up. Toddy said,
The
be
crew's
here.
back,
So
thank
we're
God.
talking about your boy, Justin Fields. I literally just got home from having dinner with my mom. I wanted to know, do I have time? How much time is left in the podcast? And Toddy said, we got time.
14 minutes.
Just wanted to pop in, say hello real quickly. And yeah, Gary, I'm shaking my head at Toddy because Toddy sold the stock. Shake my head. I actually also said, shake my motherfucking head, but YouTube cut that out, I guess. To answer the question that's on the ticker, yes, the Bears failed Justin Fields. Kevin already laid it out perfectly. I don't need to repeat myself. I mean, Kevin's representing for the entire state of Ohio and the city of Columbus, so I don't need to repeat myself. I don't need to repeat him. And Gary, I just need you to know before we get out of here for episode number 86 of Stats Over Politics, as Kevin held it down for me, and I appreciate all you guys. Toddy sold his stock to me, Gary. We've already been in over this. Like, it has been documented in the group chat. Text messages don't lie. And I'm charging you triple for it, Gary. Yesterday's price, not today's price. You sounded so confident. Oh, I'm buying
Hey,
your
man.
stock, Toddy.
He's on my team. I get to sell you the stock, my boy. I sell you the stock. He's
Where
on
have
the
you
Pittsburgh
been?
patch.
Where-
This side. Pittsburgh
How
patch.
can you
I've been-
0-0, Shaun? How can
Hey,
you
man.
0-0?
Hey, man, I can't say I'm a day one for Justin Fields because I haven't been a fan of his since Georgia, but I'm a day two, Gary. This is like day 28. Where have you been?
Hey, man. Well,
I was
what have you done for me
contemplating.
lately?
I was way happy we got Fields and then Russell, to be honest with you. I wanted a young blood. I wanted a young buck. But I'm happy we got both, man. I'm happy we got both.
Do we see
Yeah, and I
Justin
think-
Fields play this year?
No.
I mean, if Russell was
For his sake and keep my team sanity and less drama filled, I hope he doesn't. I hope we just go right with one hand, the whole way through. Hope we don't do what we did last year when we see Kenny and then the other, we got Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, pop up and just go
Trubisky,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, it's never good when you're switching back and forth. Hopefully, it's not Pickett, Mr. Kenny, and then Jalen Hurts swapping back and
Mitch.
forth.
At least it's not Mitch anymore.
I just love how it turned now, Kev. I just love how y'all picked him up.
But before
Kevin,
we
real
go,
quick.
Sean. Oh, what's up?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
no,
I have to get your nod on this factor cap. They were speaking crazy on our boy, so I have to get your factor cap. Factor cap. Jason Tatum will be the next American to win MVP.
Ooh.
Names we
I mean,
mentioned were Zion Williams, Ant Edwards,
No,
Tyrese
you
Halliburton,
mentioned
Paolo
Zion
Banchero.
Williams.
I'm just mentioning the names that I talked about, yes.
well, Jason Tatum will be the next American to win MVP. This is a fact. And the reason why I'm going to say this is a fact is because when I first saw this question posed, which was literally about 20 seconds ago, the first thought that crossed my mind is who else would win it first? And Gary started mentioning all those names. And I started thinking, no. Like basically like Cleveland on Family Guy when he's falling out of the house. That's just what went through my mind right there. And so like, I think this is a fact. If any American is going to win one anytime soon, it's going to probably be Jason Tatum because I mean, Kevin, you weren't there for that episode, but like 3-4 weeks ago, we had a factor cap where it was Jason Tatum or no, the Celtics will win the championship this season. Toddy said it was a fact. I said it was a fact. Gary said no. And part of my basis for saying it was a fact is because I think Jason Tatum is having an MVP season. Yeah, he had a couple bad games, so everyone wants to trash on him for a couple bad games and say that's the reason why he shouldn't be MVP. But he's still a front runner for that award. He's top 3 in the MVP race right now. And he is
Bad
top
games in
3
prime time.
with – well, and I get that, Gary, and that's what's going to make people be the loudest. But right now, if you look at the top 3 of the MVP race in 2024, Jason Tatum is in that top 3, and he's there with 2 Euro guys. So, yeah, this is a fact. Jason Tatum would be the next American to win MVP. So I do think this is a fact. And, Kevin, before I toss it back to you to close out for us, I just appreciate being able to join you guys for this week. I had dinner plans with my mom, so unfortunately I wasn't able to join you guys for the whole episode. But when Toddy started saying, come join us, we're talking Justin Fields. And then right as I was like halfway through setting up, I saw your text, Kevin, where you said, this is the last segment. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm literally going to set up all of my equipment, get everything ready to go, headphones on, and they're going to say, we'll see you next week on another episode of Stats Over Politics. So I was just glad I was able to pop in even for 10 minutes.
Oh, definitely. And, while we're at it, I got to get your knowledge. Factor cap. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are a top 3 duo in the NFL.
Hell no. This is cap. What the fuck? No, because I can instantly already think of the Eagles duo is better. 49ers duo is better. Let's think to ourselves. Miami is already better. That's 3 right there, right off the dome. Gabe Davis left Buffalo, so I guess you can't consider that duo anymore. What's up, Gary?
I always said, do you think Higgins and not Claypool, but
Jamar
way better. I would say
last one that kept knocking me off on the Rams duo, Puka and Cooper
all
Kupp.
day.
He said,
all day, every day.
I said they were bad. I said they're not top 3, Gary. I said they have no.
This duo. They're better than this duo, aren't they?
Okay, but they have no debate in the top 3.
Okay.
That's all I was saying. I'm not saying they were bad. I'm just saying Cooper and Puka ain't top 3.
When it comes, the last thing I'll say in regard to this one is when it comes to this new duo of DJ. Oh, excuse me, had a little indigestion there from dinner. When it comes to the duo of DJ Moore and Keenan Allen that just came together, for me, it's not a question of are they the best wide receiver duo in the NFL? Hell no. It's not even a question, are they top 3? Not even top 5. If I were asking this question, I think a more fair question would be, are they a top 10 wide receiver duo? And I don't mean that to throw shade, but I mean it by just thinking about all the other great duos there are. Like, if we're thinking realistically, I would consider it for top 10. When it comes top 5 or anything above that, it's cap for me.
Where would they fall in 10?
Probably like
9.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, 7, 8, 9. Somewhere around there.
All right, well, that is going to do it for episode 86 of Stats Over Politics. We were lucky enough to be joined by Shaun Hochul, so if you guys stay through the whole episode, you will see the man, the myth, the legend, the man we... Closing out the episode 86, please give us a follow on all social medias. We are everywhere. We are worldwide like the pandemic. Please, all the support. I speak to the 4 of us. It means a lot. We've been seeing the numbers grow on these live streams, so continue to support us. We really do appreciate it. And if anyone else to say, tap in with us. And next episode, who knows? Justin Fields and Brandon Ayuk might be a factor cap. Who knows? So we are closing out. This is Kevin Dent, Shaun Hochul, Garry, and Jaevon Toddy. We will see you guys next Monday at our regular time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. And we will see you guys then. See ya.
Peace.